All right, guys, in this project, we're going to learn a few new tools. We're kind of a little bit of a refresher. We're going to be, I'm going to show you how to change your workspace around. I'm actually going to show you how to get to the swatches. And let me go to the original view that you might have here. So the swatches here allows you to get into a bunch of different colors. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the paint bucket to fill in the colors here, just kind of doing some coloring today. So again, if you ever get mixed up in your workspace and you're not sure where to go or it doesn't look normal, you can go to Window and then Workspace and click on Reset Essentials. So that'll take it back to the very beginning. And these panels are, you can really change them around, which is a nice feature. In the swatches here, we have all these different colors that are kind of preset. So you can just kind of go ahead and open these up. And if you want to have this in a bigger view, you can move these around. So let me show you. You can grab swatches and you can put it over here. You can drag this down and make it larger. You can also take this and move it in between these two here. You'll see that that becomes a big blue line, kind of drops it in that workspace there. So this gives us a lot of different color options that we can just click on and set our foreground color to. And then over here, we're going to be working with, so go to where the gradient tool is, click and hold down, and we're going to go to the paint bucket fill. So we're just going to be working with this one layer today. We're going to be using different colors here, and we're just going to fill in. So you can kind of pick what you want to do. I'm going to start by just filling in my background here. I'm going to select other colors and just kind of randomly go through and fill this in and do a little bit of coloring today. And so again, we're using our paint bucket tool here, and whatever we set our foreground color to, you can see there's my foreground color. So whatever color I go over here and I click on, that becomes the color that my paint bucket is going to fill in. So you can just kind of pick different colors and sporadically go through there and pick some colors to fill in. So here we are. Let's say we wanted to go and fill that area in with the yellow there. We can go to our eyedropper here and click on the yellow background. You see that's my foreground now. And then go to the paint bucket fill and let's fill that in. So that's a nice way to fill in those. When I go and I fill in this has got a little gap here, so it kind of fills in an extra area. If you hit the line, you can go back. Control Z undoes, or you can go edit, undo, and then you can brush in or just click on, it fills in those little gaps there. So there's some areas where it's not filling in that background yellow. All right, guys, so I filled it in for the most part. There's a couple of the lines that don't complete. So let me show you what we can do over here. I'm going to zoom in. This R has got a bit of a gap. So I could go to my brush tool, make sure my brush is really small. Let's set my foreground color to black. So if I click on this here, it resets the foreground colors to black and white. So I can make that brush really small, and then I can just complete that. And then I also noticed up here, this eye's got a gap, so it's not filling in. All right, now that I've filled in those two spaces, let's go get another color. I'll go back to the paint bucket, and let's get a different color. Now I can fill those in and get a separate color. Okay, so at this point, I'm pretty much done with this one. All right, so I look forward to seeing what colors you guys come up with this one, and then there's still another one that we're gonna do. All right, so this one, so we finished this one up. Now we're gonna go into our next one. So let's go over here to the fish. So with this one, I want to teach you a little bit about using the magic wand as we color this in. So, I mean, we could just go through here and use the paint bucket fill. Where is it? Hold down on the gradient tool, go to the paint bucket. We could just go in and select all of these individual ones, and it would be kind of tedious. It would take us a while. Let's go back to the beginning here. So let's go find if I go Control Z, beginning. All right. Now we're going to go use our magic wand tool. So you might see the object selection tool at first. You might have the object selection tool first. So we're going to click and hold down on that one, and we're going to go to the magic wand tool. So with the magic wand tool, basically we can select a color and it'll select all of that. Now there's a couple options here. Contiguous. If we hover over here, What contiguous does is it samples only contiguous pixels. So let me try to explain what that is. If I click here, let me go. So I've got my selection. I've used contiguous. I'm going to switch it over to the gradient tool. Okay, I've got my gradient, and I'm going to drag over here. And so what it's done is it's selected all of just the white. When there's pixels where where it's closed off, it didn't select those. So there's a lot of the white inside of the fish that it didn't select. So let me go back and show you what happens when let's go back to the magic wand and turn off contiguous. And then I'm going to select the white. So it's actually selecting all of the white in the whole image. Now let's do our gradient tool, and let me show you. So when I drag over here, it's filled in everything. And I don't necessarily want to do that in this situation. There are times when that's really convenient, but let's go back and let's go back to the magic wand. So I did undo, and then I also went select, deselect. So let's go to the magic wand. We're going to turn on contiguous. So we just want the outside of the white. And then we're going to click on our gradient tool, and we're going to drag over there. And so we filled it in. So now let's get rid of that selection. We're going to go select, deselect. And now I'm going to go to the magic wand, and I'm going to go inside of the fish. I'm going to click on the white here. So let's see. If I had contiguous unchecked, okay, it selects all of the white. If I go and I turn it on, and then I'm just getting this one area here. So maybe that's a better way of showing you. So it kind of depends. Do I want to select the individual ones, or do I want to do the whole thing? So I'm going to unclick that. I want to do all of the rest of the remaining white. And then I'm going to go to my gradient tool, and I'm going to pick a different gradient color scheme. And I'm going to fill in the part of the fish. And then I'm going to go select, deselect. So there we go. I like how that looks. We've got a nice gradient going on the water and then on the fish, and that makes that project a lot easier. So we learned a little bit about the gradient tool and having contiguous on or off, and how that affects our selection and how we can paint in. So here's our 2 coloring projects for today. So just experiment with that, color in your spaces, and look forward to seeing what you guys come up with.